Cardi B thought she escaped the storm when she walked away from Offset. But what if she just stepped into a hurricane? Because now the internet's whispering a name louder than ever. Stefon Diggs, the flashy NFL star with a smile that melts cameras and allegedly a reputation that burns through relationships like wildfire. She's pregnant, she's glowing, but behind the glam, it's chaos, receipts, baby mamas, secret timelines, and the wildest part, he's not just creeping on the low, he's allegedly out here linking with women tied to other powerful men in the industry. Not one, not two, but multiple. And while Cardi's building a future, Stefon might be building a starting lineup of babies. Akademiks says he's been with 5 industry girls, minimum. And this ain't gossip, it's a full-blown scandal with names, timelines, and dangerous consequences. So now the question is, did Cardi really find her peace? Or is she living in a bigger, messier version of the same heartbreak she thought she left behind? Because the math ain't mathin', and the receipts, they're multiplying. And trust, what you're about to hear changes everything. On the surface, Cardi B and Stefon Diggs looked like a match made in celebrity heaven. Luxury vacations, late-night date snaps, gifting sprees that would make most couples jealous. From romantic Paris getaways to whispers of him dropping 6 figures on private dinners, fans were convinced Cardi found her upgrade. A fresh start, a new man who wasn't about cheating, clubbing, and creeping. But what if all of that was just the Instagram version of the truth? Because behind the scenes, a way darker story was bubbling. According to DJ Akademiks, Stefon Diggs wasn't playing house. He was allegedly playing everyone, including Cardi. Word started spreading in industry circles that Stefon was out here doing way too much for a man in a committed relationship, not just casually flirting. Real quick, if you're into messy timelines, wild receipts, and celebrity tea the blogs won't print, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Because over here, we don't miss a beat, and the next twist is always around the corner. Not DM games. We're talking full-on, multiple women, and not single ones either. He was allegedly creeping with girls who already had powerful men behind them, other rappers, other artists, industry names with weight. And while Cardi was glowing in bump pics and cozy couple shots, Stefon was allegedly out there acting like he never signed up for any of it. He was moving like a man with zero accountability, zero fear, and zero loyalty. And just when fans thought maybe it was a misunderstanding, Akademiks dropped the real bomb. He's not even buying these women purses or gifts. He's not doing it for clout. He's doing it for the thrill. No romance, no loyalty, just access. And that right there changed the tone of the entire relationship. Because if it's not about money or fame, if he's chasing chaos just because he can, then Cardi's not just dating a cheater. She might be in love with a man who never planned on stopping. This is where the floodlights hit. Because DJ Akademiks didn't just call Stefon Diggs out, he branded him Community D. And in the industry, that's not just a nickname, that's a warning. According to Akademiks, Stefon wasn't quietly seeing 1 or 2 women on the side. He was allegedly moving through 5 different women in the industry. Minimum. 5. And these weren't random girls from Instagram or a VIP section. These were women tied to some of the most powerful names in hip-hop. Rappers' girlfriends, managers' fiancés, the type of women who don't get touched unless you're either crazy or reckless enough not to care. And Stefon, he didn't care. Akademiks even joked that rappers could DM him directly to confirm if their own girls had been with Stefon. Like he's some kind of twisted concierge for infidelity. Think about that for a second. You're a superstar athlete, your girlfriend's one of the biggest rap icons on the planet, and your name is being passed around like a do not touch list in group chats. But here's what made the rumors even uglier. Stefon wasn't even buying loyalty. No designer bags, no cars, no keep quiet perks. All the women allegedly got were a few game tickets, maybe a hotel link up, and a man chasing nothing but adrenaline. Not clout, not headlines, not money. Thrill. And that's what had fans shook, because if it's not transactional, then it's impulsive. And if it's impulsive, then who knows what line he'll cross next. That's why Community D hit harder than just an insult. It wasn't about shaming him. It was about putting his reputation on blast for what it really is, a man who can't stop, even when everything's at stake.
This is where the whispers turned into receipts, because once the timeline of pregnancies started coming out, everything snapped into focus. First up, Giselle. She welcomed a baby girl in April 2025, proudly naming Stefon as the father and dragging him to court for paternity and child support. The case is still active. Do the math. A baby born in April 2025 means she was likely pregnant by July or August 2024, right when Cardi B was filing for divorce from Offset. So while the public thought Cardi was freshly single, Stefon was allegedly sliding right in and allegedly building another family at the exact same time. And that wasn't even the start of the mess. Rumors swirled that Stefon and Cardi began hooking up before she'd even given birth to her last child, which means this new romance wasn't really new at all. It was overlapping, complicated, and already messy. By the time fans caught up, the receipts were lining up like dominoes. A woman with a newborn, Cardi in the middle of a public split, Stefon allegedly playing both sides. This wasn't just cheating, it was a timeline disaster unfolding in real time. And that's why people started paying attention, because one baby can be written off as a mistake. But when the dates overlap, when the pregnancies line up with the headlines, when the math stops making sense, it stops looking like gossip and starts looking like a pattern. And for Cardi, that pattern was starting to look way too familiar. Just when people were still processing Giselle's baby, another woman stepped forward. Yep, another baby, another 2025 birth, another claim that Stefon Diggs was the father. And this one came with video proof. A clip surfaced around September, right after Cardi dropped her album, Am I the Drama? In the video, reportedly filmed months earlier in May, Stefon is seen walking out of a hospital carrying a car seat. Not a paparazzi shot, not some grainy photo, full video, clear as day. And fans are convinced he had just welcomed another child. That makes two babies born in the same year with two different women, while publicly in a relationship with Cardi B. But it doesn't stop there, because now rumors are exploding that another woman is carrying twins. Yes, twins, 2 more babies, allegedly on the way right now, while Cardi B herself just announced her own pregnancy with Stefon. Let's count that for a second. Giselle's baby in April, second woman's baby later in 2025, alleged twins currently in the oven, and now Cardi's own baby on the way. That's potentially 5 children tied to Stefon Diggs, all connected to the same 12-month window. 5! At this point, it's less of a love triangle and more of a paternity pentagon. And for Cardi, this isn't just embarrassing, it's dangerous, because every woman who comes forward, every date that lines up, every hospital sighting and court filing, it chips away at the picture-perfect romance she thought she had. And what's worse, this isn't even counting the kids he already had before this chaos began. This should have been her redemption arc. After everything with Offset, the public cheating, the side chicks, the emotional breakdowns, fans were rooting for Cardi to finally find peace, to finally get the kind of love she'd fought so hard for. And for a minute, it looked like she did. Stefon Diggs came in like a new chapter, smooth, private, protective. No messy rap beefs, no industry drama, just a man with money, looks, and a calm energy that felt like the opposite of Offset. But now, it's feeling like Cardi didn't break a cycle. She just redecorated it. Because all those red flags she once ignored, they're back. And they're waving harder than ever. Except this time, the math is messier, the stakes are higher, and the baby count is exploding. Let's get real. She left Offset for years of cheating, and now she's allegedly watching the same behavior play out with a new face. Except instead of one side chick, she's allegedly up against multiple baby mamas with receipts, hospital footage, and court dates. Fans are shook. They're asking, how did she fall for this same type of man again? How did she leave a broken love story just to start building a worse one? And here's what makes it even harder to watch. Stefon treats Cardi differently. He's flying her out, renting castles in France, dropping money on luxury watches and private chefs. He's giving her the full red carpet fantasy. But the other women? Allegedly getting nosebleed tickets, hotel rooms, and disappearing acts. So yes, it feels like Cardi is the main woman, but being the favorite doesn't mean being respected. It just means you're the one he's putting the most effort into losing last. And for Cardi, who swore her divorce from Offset had nothing to do with cheating, this new reality is a brutal reminder that sometimes when you run from hurt, you don't always run toward healing. Sometimes you run straight into the same heartbreak dressed up in different clothes.
This ain't just messy anymore. It's dangerous. Because if the rumors are true, if Stefon Diggs is really out here creeping with women tied to other powerful men in the industry, then this isn't just Cardi B's problem. This is everybody's problem. DJ Akademiks didn't just drop a vague rumor, he doubled down. Says Stefon's allegedly been with women who are already in relationships with major rappers, and that those men are finding out. He even joked that rappers are hitting them up in private trying to confirm if their girls were on the list, like it's a twisted loyalty check. Now pause for a second to think about that. We're not just talking about some athlete playing games behind his girl's back. We're talking about a man allegedly moving in circles where respect is currency, and one wrong move can set off a chain reaction nobody's ready for.
Because if there's one thing more volatile than a jealous rapper, it's a disrespected one. This ain't just about cheating anymore. It's about crossing boundaries that don't get crossed. When you're dealing with million-dollar egos, industry alliances, crews, and reputations, sleeping with someone else's girl can turn from rumor to revenge real quick. And Stefon, he's not just risking his relationship. He might be risking his career, his safety, his entire public image. Meanwhile, Cardi is smack in the middle of it all. The one name tied to the chaos. The one woman who can't move in silence because her every move makes headlines. So now fans are wondering, does she know the full story? Is she in on the whispers? Or is she being shielded from the truth because the truth is too ugly to process? Either way, it's a ticking time bomb. And one wrong post, one viral screenshot, or one jealous man in the industry ready to talk could blow everything up. Sometimes it's not the blogs, not the rumors, not even the baby mamas. Sometimes the loudest truth comes from the people who know you best. And for Stefon Diggs, that truth came straight out of his own locker room. In a now viral clip, a group of Stefon's NFL teammates were asked a simple question. Which player on this team would you least want your sister to date? The response? Unanimous. Stefon Diggs. No hesitation, no sugarcoating, just immediate nope, not Diggs. Absolutely not. One guy even said, he's crazy. He talks too much. You don't know what he's gonna say. He's not someone you bring home to your parents. Another added, he couldn't date my sister, period. And Stefon? He tried to laugh it off, tried to play the nice guy card. But when your own teammates are low-key warning the world about your behavior, that's not shade, that's insight. These are men who spend every day around him, the ones who've seen the DM habits, heard the locker room talk, watched the patterns repeat over and over again. So when fans saw that video, especially in light of all the rumors about multiple women, secret babies, and relationship chaos, it didn't just add up. It confirmed everything. Because you can deny gossip. You can say Akademiks is exaggerating. You can even spin a paternity case in court. But when your entire team agrees that you shouldn't be trusted around someone's sister, that's a reputation. And reputation rarely lies. And for Cardi B, that moment hit hard. Because if the people closest to Stefon don't think he's boyfriend material, what does that say about what's happening behind her back? And even more importantly, what's coming next? At this point, we're way past the rumors. We've got multiple women, multiple babies, multiple timelines that overlap like tangled wires. And at the center of it all stands Cardi B, pregnant, public, and possibly blindsided. The fans are watching in real time as she lives what looks like a repeat of her past, only this time the stakes are even higher, because with Offset, there were years of chaos. But with Stefon, the chaos came fast, too fast. It's like she walked out of one storm and right into a tornado. The gifts, the castles, the diamonds, they paint a pretty picture, but that's all it is, a picture. Because behind the scenes, he's allegedly building families with other women, juggling babies, dodging paternity cases, and creeping with women who already belong to someone else. And Cardi? She's stuck between two harsh realities. Stay and people will call her blind. Leave and it becomes another public breakup tied to infidelity. Again. But this time, there's a child involved. And that changes everything. Because now she's not just protecting her image, she's protecting her peace, her legacy, and maybe even her safety. The internet is ruthless. The headlines are louder, and every time another woman steps forward, Cardi's name gets dragged deeper into the storm. It's almost like Stefon is living two lives: the luxury boyfriend, the industry playboy, and somehow Cardi is expected to navigate both while pregnant, famous, and constantly under a microscope. So now the question isn't just, did Cardi make a mistake? It's, how much more is she willing to take before she walks away? Because when your man is allegedly tied to 4 different women in 1 year, and your name is the only one that shows up in every single headline, that's not love, that's a trap. And sooner or later, something's gonna break. So here we are, Cardi B, pregnant, in love, and in the eye of a storm that just keeps growing. Stefon Diggs, allegedly fathering babies left and right, sleeping with women already claimed, and somehow still smiling like nothing's wrong. But the receipts don't lie, the timelines don't lie. And Cardi? She's living through another chapter that's looking way too familiar. This isn't just about cheating. It's about choosing yourself when love starts to look like a pattern. It's about knowing the difference between being spoiled and being played. And if all this is true, if even half of what Akademiks is saying checks out, then Cardi isn't just stuck in a toxic love story. She might be starring in a repeat she didn't sign up for. So now we want to know, what would you do if you were Cardi? Would you ride it out hoping he'll change? Or run before the damage becomes permanent? And do you think Stefon is just misunderstood? Or is this man really building a dynasty of baby mamas and broken hearts? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We need to hear every take on this one. And if you thought this story was wild, wait till you see what's coming next. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because over here, we don't spill tea, we flood timelines.